So hi everyone, Heather Cooper here with Playing with Paper Crafting. And so it's my regular Monday morning Facebook Live, and I wanted to show you how to create this sidestep fanciful card, which I've made into kind of a winter diorama, which could be a very fancy Christmas card that you could send. And I'm just going to look for the video here so that I can, not finding it, just so I can see your comments, because I can't see them on my phone. I'll just have to go out and come back in again, I guess. That way I should be able to find it. Hope everybody's doing well. Anybody got their Christmas decorations up yet? We managed to get our tree up last night. So that was a major accomplishment. It seems like everything gets in the way. Getting there. So this is a fancy fold card, and it consists of a plain side and then a stepped side, and it's all in, there it is, okay, good. It's all in the cutting and the scoring. So I think we can probably get started on that. All right. So it starts with a regular size piece of cardstock. I'll just give you a quick look. I'll just open it up so that you can see it's a regular 8.5 by 5.5 piece, half-size piece of cardstock. And I'm just going to show you a diagram I made. Now, all of the measurements and supplies that you need for this are on my blog this morning, which you will find here at playingwithpapercrafting.com. So if you go there, you'll find all the measurements that you're going to need, and I'll just leave that up in the corner. It's kind of rinky-dink. I should have that typed out on the computer and displayed for you. Anyway, I made this diagram with all the measurements and the score. So the dotted lines are the score lines, and the solid lines are the cut. This is the cut that you make. That will also be on my blog so that you can download it if you want. Okay, so that should help. I'm going to just bring in my scoring tool right now. I need to get rid of this. Okay, so this is the regular piece of cardstock, and I've cut the regular size, half a piece of cardstock. This is Native Navy, and then I've made a special cut. So at 2 inches from the left side here, I've started at 1 inch from the bottom, and so I just I guess on my cutter it goes to 8.5, so I started at 7.5, and then I moved up my the ruler. You have a ruler on the what's the word? On the slide. So the cutter slide, you have a ruler on that, and I went up to 2 inches and then 1/8 beyond the 2 inches, which would be the 6 5/8 inches. Okay. So I was able to do that. Okay, and then I put the 2-inch side next to a ruler here on my, I don't know if you can see that, next to the ruler on my scoring tool, and I just scored at 4 1/4 up into the cut and left it at that. Then I'm flipping it over, just flipping it this way, so that now I've got the 3 1/2 inch side from the cut next to the ruler, okay? And I'm going to score at 1 inch and take that right up to the cut. And then my next one is 1 7/8 inches. So that's just before the 2. The next one is 3 1/4 inches. And these measurements again will all be on my blog. 4 3/4 inches. And then 6 5/8 inches, which is right at the top of the cut. Okay, and that's all the scoring that needs to be done. Okay, oh, guess you couldn't see half of that. All right, so then on this side, we can sort of fold it at the 4 1/4, but that's not going to go very far until we, oh, great, got to do it this way. I was thinking, oh, that's all wrong, but it's okay, we just have to flip it over. So we're going to fold down at the first line, and then up at the second line, and then down like a mountain, the third line, up, and then down again, so that you get your side step. Okay, and then you just need to give everything a really good burnish with your bone folder. And for the steps, you need to open it up like this and give everything a really good burnish inside so that you have your steps. Okay, and now we're going to cut the snow pieces for the steps. So I need my pine woods dies here, and I've cut some pieces of white whisper white paper for that, and I need these curve dies, or snowbank dies, I guess they'd be called, and I need my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'll just smooth that over a little bit here. And roll it out. Okay, so the first one is for the long piece here. And I'll show you that on the finish card. That's the one that goes along here. Okay. So I'm going to take this one, and the measurements for this piece of paper are on my blog, and I'm going to take this snowbank die, and I want it to go right at the top, so I want the top of this hill here to touch the top of the paper. And this one can even go beyond the top, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure that I've got enough to cover most of it. And I'm going to put on my top plate, which is really badly warped. I've been doing a lot of cutting. I think it's time for new plates. When I say a lot, I mean 128 cards with 4 or 5 things to be die cut for each card. So that's a lot of work. Okay, now let's see how that fits on here. Yeah, well, that's pretty good. It's even going beyond that. I probably could have moved it down a bit, but that'll work. Okay. All right, and then the next one here, we're also going to use the same I think I'll move it a little bit further along, like so. Roll it through. Now when I'm done this YouTube Live, I am going to upload it to YouTube, sorry, not YouTube Live, this Facebook Live. I'm going to upload it to YouTube and then post it on my blog as well. So you'll get to see it there. And I'm going to, I just want to look at my card and see how I did that. Yep. So just about like this. Making sure the top of the highest hill touches the top of the paper, and then we'll run that through. Boy, there's a huge delay between the replay that I'm getting on my tablet and where I'm at and what I'm doing here. So if there's a delay in me answering your questions, that's why. Okay. So just in case you weren't sure, I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives every Monday morning at 11. And of course, you don't have to be there right at 11 unless you would like to interact with me. You can always watch them later. Now, while I have my Stampin' Cut and Emboss tool out here, machine out here, I'm going to die cut the trees that I need. Now, I've already done some. So I've got the big trees, and this is from the Pine Woods dies that I'm using. So that's where the snowbanks came from, and that's where these trees came from. And I need 3 of the skinnier trees and 2 of the large trees. So I've cut some already just to save time. So I need 1 more large tree, and I'm using silver foil for these. And again, the dimensions for the silver foil that you need are on my blog. And then I cut 1 more of the smaller ones. We can do that at the same time. And let's run those through. I'm so pleased at, even with these intricate dies, it only takes 1 pass and back to do the die cutting. I don't even know if I need to come back again. I just do it for convenience sake, basically. And I'm going to just take my die brush, give it a little wiggle over there, The die brush looks a little different now. It works with the Take Your Pick tool. But my old die brush hasn't worn out yet, so draw to my tree. Okay, and now for the larger one. Again, we'll run the die brush over it, hoping to get most of the little pieces out. I'm probably way off screen. Poke it out from there, and then just poke out the little extra bits. Again, the Take Your Pick tool has a sharp end like this, paper piercing end, that you can use to do this. So really, one tool has most of the attachments, and then you just need to buy a brush attachment for it, and you have what you need, which is very, very handy. Okay. So those are my silver trees, all cut out, all die cut. And now I want to do some of the white trees. I want to show you that. Where's my finished card? Anyway, I'm using the In the Woods framelits for that. Let me just move all this stuff up here and get that out. I need a 3.5 by 3.5 sheet of white cardstock, and I can cut both trees out of that. And these are what they look like. And there's 2 of them, so I can do it at once, which is nice. Run it through. That's lonely without anybody on here. I usually have somebody to talk to. Oh well. And again, we'll use our die brush and just get all the little bits out if we can. So there's a little bit of die cutting to do for this one, but not too bad. It's the construction that takes a little bit of time, but again, not as half as bad as it might look. Okay, so I can get rid of that, and I can get rid of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for now. I'll need to bring it back one more time, and I can put these framelits away. Those ones can go away, and those ones can go away. Just need one more set out. Oh, sorry, there is one more thing we have to cut, and that's the reindeer. And for that, we need some of the copper brushed metal cardstock, brushed metallic cardstock, and we need the North Pole Wonder Dies. We get this wonderful reindeer here, and we're going to add him on there. Now, I think I've heard it said that female reindeer have antlers too. Hi, Najat. Good, I've got somebody to talk to. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay. I actually saw a caribou for the first time 2 summers ago. We were in Barkerville, and we were on our way home along the highway from Barkerville to not Williams Lake. It's the next one up, Quesnel. And so we're just driving along, and all of a sudden there on the side of the road was a caribou, which I think are very much like reindeer. And there, I was surprised at how small it was. I thought they'd be big. It was quite a bit smaller than I was expecting. Okay, now we've got all the little bits cut, except for our sentiment. So let's stamp the sentiment, or one of the sentiments, and then we'll be ready to do that. So this one we're going to emboss with silver, and the sentiment comes from the Peaceful Boughs stamp set, which we had last year as well. It's not a new one. This is the stamp set it comes from. And I wanted kind of a square sentiment, and this one kind of goes along with the whole winter diorama kind of look too. It says, "May the spirit of peace gently fill your heart and home in this most wonderful time of the year." So I'm just going to ink that up with Versamark, which is a clear sticky ink. I went over it first with what we call an embossing buddy. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell those anymore, but I think you can get them most craft stores. And it just takes off the oils and static so that the embossing powder only sticks where you have the Versamark ink and not in other parts. Now I'm going to add the silver embossing powder. Just tap that off. A couple little extra bits there. That's what happens when you don't use it, and even sometimes when you do. So just think how much worse it would have been if I hadn't. Okay, and now I'm going to use my heat tool to melt that. So just excuse the noise. See if you can see the moment when it goes shiny. Yep, here it goes. Can you see it turning? There we go. And now we're going to die cut that with a frame that comes from the Beautiful Boughs dies, which go along with the Peaceful Boughs framelits. Stamp set. So now the thing we have to do here is get it straight and make sure that it's nice when you can just want to make sure. I'm just going to stand up here to make sure that I've got it on there straight with the way it's stamped. And it's nice when you can stamp first and then die cut, because then you can always adjust the die so that it's straight. Whereas if you die cut first and then you have to stamp, sometimes you don't get it straight. So, okay. And that's my last die cut that I have to make. And there we've got our sentiment. And there's one more bit of stamping that we have to do. Just going to push this out of the way. Get to this. On this length here, it goes here right in the middle of this short bit, we want to stamp Season's Greetings near the bottom. We're going to do that in Night of Navy. And I want to make sure it's straight. I'm going to first do a test stamp on my scrap paper here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the edge of my, here, let me move up. I'm going to line up the edge of my block, clear block, with a line on the paper here, and then see how straight that is. And you can see it's way off. So that means I need to bring down quite a bit the greetings, the ing end of it. So I'm going to try again. And I'm going to bring that down quite a bit and see how that works. And that was a bit too much. So let me try again. Line it up, bring it down a bit. And I think that's got it. Okay, so now I know exactly what to do when I'm stamping. So I've got to make sure that I've got that straight. I need to move that up a bit for you. And so I need to line that up there and then bring it down ever so slightly. And then stamp. And I've got it straight, right where I want it. Yay! I'm not always successful at that, but this time I made it. Okay, so I'm just cleaning my stamps, and then we're going to assemble this card because we're all ready to go. So our first step is going to be putting on all the snowbanks. And after using that Night of Navy, I'm just going to take a look at my fingers because I am using Whisper White and I don't want to get any Night of Navy on the Whisper White. Okay, so I'm just going to use some clear glue, but any kind of adhesive would work on here. The clear glue just gives me some playing time. Now, what's important is I don't want to end up with any glue that is above the fold. So I'm going to stay with it down below and not go up too high. And I'm going to bring it level with the bottom and the sides. And stick it on there. Okay, good. The next one is, yeah, this one. So just the top of the hill is over. And the reason we don't want to get glue on that is that if we do, it's liable to stick to other things and you won't be able to open the card. So okay, so I'm going to just got glue all over my finger. Not what I wanted. Alternatively, we don't want to end up getting glue up on the top there either, so I've got to wipe some of that away because I'll have the same problem. So this part is a little tricky. Okay, get the glue off my fingers before I continue here. And I've got first two snowbanks, and then we'll go on with the third one. And for this one, you can see that both tops of the hills are beyond the fold of the paper. So I'm just going to add glue from about here down. At least that gives me something to grab onto. And that looks good. There. Okay, so now we've got all the snowbanks on. Now we can start adding trees. Oh, we could also add our sentiment, so maybe I'll do that. Because I have to add that sentiment before I can add trees. I'm going to add that kind of level with the top. It's going to have a little extra going over the edge there, but in our regular envelopes we have enough leeway for that little extra bit. Okay, now let's start with the two front silver trees. They're small, like this. And the first one I'm going to overlap the side here. But when I add it, I want to fit it around the, let me hold it this way so you can see, I want to fit it around the writing there. I'm going to use a glue dot and a couple of glue dots. And so I can fit a glue dot there, and I can fit a glue dot up there, and then I can add a little bit of glue on. When I turn it over, it'll be the right side, okay? I've done it before where I've mixed up my sides. Okay, so, but it'll be on the right side, because when I turn that over, it'll be the left side. So I'm going to add a glue dot there and just bunch up the glue dot a little bit so it doesn't show. And where was the other place I was going to add a glue dot? I don't see much of a spot for it. I guess maybe just up one level here. Yeah, so you can use this tool to kind of, and then I'm just going to shake my glue right down to the tip and just add. That way you can just get tiny little dots of it. Just add tiny dots to the ends of the branches here. Now once you get it on there, you don't want to have to move it around a lot. I'm going to use my tweezers to help me with this, to help me position it in the right spot. Okay, so I want it to go around those words. I want it to be straight. Not bad. The thing is, if you get glue on your on the foil, it's really hard to get it off. You can't use like an adhesive eraser, it won't work. What you have to use is like a microfiber cloth to rub it off. Actually, most materials will rub it off, but it's a slow process. Okay, now we're going to add it to this side. Like, you have to be patient when you rub it. Hi, Eunice. That's okay, you can re-watch. So I can fit in one glue dot down here, and then a little bit on the right, which will be the left when I flip it over. So there's not much room for adhesive on this one, but the glue dot works wonders. So add the glue dot right here, and what was that again? Now I've forgotten. Oh, yeah, the right, which is the left. Okay. Shake down the glue into the tip, into the nozzle, and then that requires very little pressure to get some little tiny dots of glue. The smaller, the better. Okay, and then just some little dots here. Because of the slope of the snowbank, that's why I can't get very much here. Did I get, yeah, I got it on the right side. Good. Okay. Yeah, I keep forgetting I have to squeeze those tweezers to get them to let go. And did I get any extra adhesive? Nope, I did it pretty well. Okay, so that's those two. Let's do the back one. Get rid of some of that. So the back one, we're going to put the two white trees on either side. So we're going to take the trunks right down to the bottom of the fold. So that brings them to about there, and all we can do is use glue on that. There's really no room for glue dots. So again, shake it down, and then just add tiny little dots of glue as you go, and then a few little dots of glue. It's good glue though, so it will hold them in place. And right down to the bottom. Oh, there. Make sure it's straight. No crooked trees. Okay, and we'll do one on the other side now. Same idea. Hi, Doreen. I know it's hard, but the key to it is shaking the glue down to the tip so that it requires very little pressure to get the glue out. But sometimes I get those big globs of glue too, so you're not alone. But I had much more success when I learned that trick. Get the glue down there, and then you don't have to squeeze it down there. It's ready to go. Okay, that should be enough. Actually, I could probably add a little more, but that should do it for us. Okay, I'm gonna tip. I want to tip the tweezers so that I have more angle here. And again, be careful that you don't extend the trees out beyond the side of the card for fitting it into the envelope's sake. Okay, and now we're going to do the silver tree, and this one can mostly be done with glue dots, and we're going to go to this point right here. So I can add about 3 glue dots on there, and that should actually hold it. You might want to add a wee bit of glue to the trunk just so it doesn't flip up, but oh, that's sticky. So I'm going to add about 3 glue dots. Try and get some of the stickiness off of there because it's grabbing onto the glue dots. And one there. And then a few little drops of glue. Okay, and I'm just going to do this one with my fingers. I get more control that way. There we go. Okay, now on the middle one, we're going to start with another big one, and then we'll do the reindeer and Fanny, the little one. So that one goes on the left, and we can go up to there, which means we can get a couple of glue dots on from there down. I know I've always loved white and silver and blue together. They do look elegant, and they look so wintry. Oh, I see a little piece that didn't get popped out. Now it's stuck on the glue dots. There. Okay, and then a little bit of glue along the trunk so it stays put. Maybe a couple of dots on the branches. Again, I think I'll use my hands to position this. I just feel like I have more control. There we go. Now we're going to do the reindeer. And that's going to overlap the tree. That gives us some perspective. So basically we can do the lower half of his body, anything from his back, so we can add glue dots on that. I'm not popping him up just because of trying to fold the card. Again, so I'm not using dimensionals. I just think it might make the card too bulky. So I'm just using glue dots. And you could add some glue to his legs, but I'm thinking he'll probably be secure enough. And then the little tree is going to come in just a little bit so that you can see it, so that it's not masked by this little tree here. So it's going to cover up the hindquarters of the reindeer. And we're looking at this point up, so I can fit in 2 glue dots there, and then the trunk and the left, which will become the right when I flip it. So a couple of glue dots, one in there. So I'm just forming or molding the glue dots to fit the space. It's quite easy to do. Gives a little bit of height too. And then using the so I said the right. Okay, so I want it to move it over just a little bit. There, I did this much better this time. Last night I had all sorts of glue mishaps. There. Okay, and basically we have our card finished, which fits into a regular envelope and then can be opened up, and it looks like a diorama. We used to make them when we were kids out of shoe boxes. We'd make, we'd cut pictures out of magazines and out of catalogs and stand them up in a shoebox and cut a little hole in the end of the shoebox. Sometimes we'd put cellophane, or we'd get a hold of colored cellophane. I'm not sure where we got that from. But anyway, we'd put colored cellophane and then we'd look through at this three-dimensional kind of diorama. We used to love doing that. Anybody else do that? Anyway, that's the card, and that's the side step card, and you can find the directions and the materials and dimensions on my blog this morning. And my blog is playingwithpapercrafting.com. And I just wanted to mention that Friday is the deadline for signing up for my tag class. You make 8 tags, 2 each of 4 designs, and it's $15, or you get the card pack for free if you make a minimum $25 order. And yeah, and if you look on my Playing with Paper Crafting site, you'll find a place where you can sign up for that class and the pictures of the tags and everything. All right. Well, it was great spending time with you today, and I'll see you again next Monday for another Facebook Live with Playing with Paper Crafting. Okay, bye everyone.